so kittens aren't your thing. We also have an adorable set releasing this month called Top Dog. And again, adorable images, sentiments, and coordinating dies. And I've used them to create this card here. And how cute are those puppies? So I want to talk about coloring them one more time and talk about some of the choices and why I choose what I choose. And again, I went with color pencils to color these images because I like the little bit of texture that the color pencil brings to the image. And especially when you've got furry animals, I really like the way that this looks. So I have from Sweet Tooth Cardstock, once again, I have cut my coordinating images to go with my stamps. And I'm going to use my favorite hybrid black licorice ink. And I'm going to ink up my images. And I'm going to put my image on a dark surface because that really helps me line things up and see exactly where they're supposed to be. So I'm going to lean in here and make sure that my image is lined up all the way around and give it a stamp. Okay, and I'm going to do that for this image as well. So I just want to show you that it's pretty easy to do. So if you don't have a cutting mat that's black like this, grab a piece of black cardstock or something that's dark to provide you some contrast. And as I line my image up, I make sure that I line it up. I check the tops, the bottoms, the sides. I'm going to lean in here and check everything and then go straight down to stamp my image. And remember, you're going to want to heat set those so that they are completely dry as you use them. So here I have my cute puppy and his little girlfriend here. And what I did is I went through my pencils and I found some browns. And I found browns that not only worked together because they were in the same numbers, they also just worked together because I really liked the way they looked. So as I go through, usually what I do is I just end up coloring a little bit. I just grab a piece of paper that's the same that I'm using and lay down some color and decide what colors I want to use and which ones are going to work together really well to color my images. Plus this gives you a nice idea. You know, I keep a sample swatch of all my colors too, so I can pull that out and you can see my colors all, how they work together here. So let's go ahead and let's start coloring a little bit. And I'm going to start with my lightest color that I have and go ahead and start coloring in my image. And I'm just going to make little coloring marks. You don't have to worry about keeping your edges wet or anything like that. Like with markers, you just go ahead and color. Go ahead and do that and go back over it again if you need to even any coloring out or any of the spots like that. And I colored over a little bit there, which won't matter when I go back and color it, but remember there's little erasers that you can buy for your color pencils that'll get rid of that. So let's say I just had a like 5 color pencils. That's all I have in my collection right now. I'm working on building that up. So there is a way that you can use your color pencils and put the shading in that you want to instead of using more than one pencil. So I've already put one layer of color down here, but what I can do is I can go back in and put another layer. So where I'm going to want a little bit of shading, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add that in by putting another layer of color in the exact same pencil over the top. And remember, when you're coloring, you want to pick a direction for your light to come and make that your light source so you can decide where you want all the shadows and highlights to be. And you can see that I'm getting a little bit more depth of color here than with just one layer down. And now what I can do is I can go in and I can put another layer of color and I can also press harder. So if I press harder, I'm going to force some more pigment onto my paper and get even more shading and kind of blend that out a little bit. All right, so let's go back here where we want it to be really dark and I can really push with my pencil and get the darkest shades possible. I'll go back in here on the ear and do the same thing. And see how I can get that really dark shade. And let's do a little bit more around her ear because her ear is in front of all these things here. So let's add some more of it here. Just a little. Just along the edge. A little bit under her bow. How cute is that? Okay, so there we go. So now we have added some shading. And I'm going to go back in with my blending pencil, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to blend all this out. All right, so her body is all blended out. Now what I decided to do is for the color of her ear, I decided to make her ear the color of his body and his ear the color of her body. So I'm going to go ahead while I still have those pencils out and go ahead and color his ear. Okay, so there we go. We have our puppy colored. And one last thing I want to do on the puppy that I want to show you is I want to show you how I added a little bit of fun with the color pencils and how I added a little bit of plaid to his scarf. So what I did is I colored the scarf and I just laid down my basic red color here and laid the lightest color down first. And then I'm going to go and add some shading. Okay, and we'll add this little bit of darker red. Add a little bit of shadow in here. All right, and we'll make it really dark underneath his ear. So there won't be any light there. We'll blend it out. All right, now we're gonna go back in and we're gonna go back in with our darkest color and we're just gonna make the lines for the plaid. And it's real easy to do. Just make lines. And there you go. You've got your cute little plaid scarf on your adorable puppy that you have colored here. So here we go. Great puppies. Coloring with any kind of color medium is really easy to do as long as you add some shading and some shadows and some visual interest. So I hope that you have fun coloring these great cats and dogs.